All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we have another situation where somebody finally has come home. Now, to be granted, this person is coming home a lot more wealthy than some of the other people who are coming home. I'm looking at you, game journalists and game developers that got fired recently. But Remedy is a studio that has been unfortunately co-opted, and they are no longer the studio that made the original Alan Wake. Obviously, everybody knows that Remedy has made Control and Alan Wake, but they've also made a video game that you probably really haven't heard of because, well, nobody's playing it, right? FBC Firebreak, a game that since this game has come out, I've been saying for the longest time, is going to lead to the destruction of Remedy, even if Remedy barely made money on Alan Wake 2 because they wanted to be exclusive to Epic Games because Epic Games funded Alan Wake 2. At the end of the day, they had to come home eventually. And it's so funny because just like every other video game that we've been talking about for the last couple of days now, FBC Firebreak is basically the Concorde that didn't die. Right? This is a Concord style game that should have died for all intents and purposes, should have been canceled, but they're too fucking stubborn to cancel it because Remedy is used to going the long haul. They're used to going as long as needed to break even on a video game. Alan Wake 2 took over a year, well over a year to get close to breaking even, and now is producing royalties finally after almost 2 years. But FBC Firebreak is not going to get that, right? 28 people playing this game right now at the time of filming. Actually, I have to refresh it. Make that 19 people. 19 people, and the 24-hour peak apparently went up from, to 28, so that must be a higher number. 19 people playing this game at the time of filming this video, and apparently this has resulted in this. Remedy CEO has stepped down 2 weeks after it issued a profit warning due to FBC Firebreak's weak sales. Tero Virtala has stepped down from the CEO role with immediate effect. So again, welcome home to Tero. I understand you're going to be one of the richer people working at McDonald's, but regardless, we got to welcome you home because, we missed you. We missed you, man. Let's talk about exactly what's going on here. So in a statement to investors, the company explained that Virtala and the board of directors had mutually agreed that Tero Virtala will step down from his position as the company's CEO with immediate effect. So this is not him stepping down, okay? I want to be very clear. It may be on paper because that's how they want to portray the situation, but we all know exactly what this is, okay? Remedy's board says, hey, bro, we are getting felted right now. You have not made good decisions. And unlike Jade King over at The Gamer that got his entire team fired, but somehow magically he gets to keep his job, this person decided to do they did the right thing, in my opinion. They did the right thing, and they looked at the top, and they said, you are the CEO. You are the ones who led the team. You are the one who is going to take the fall. You are going to be the one who falls on the sword of whatever bullshit you're trying to push with these video games. Virtala was appointed CEO in August of 2016 and will now continue at the service of the company during a transition period where he will help with the handover of duties to the new CEO. Remedy co-founder Marcus Maki has been appointed as interim CEO until a permanent replacement can be found and will step down from his role as chairman of the board as a result. I want to thank Tero Virtala for his substantial contribution. Substantial contribution. I don't mean to laugh, but substantial contribution. Okay. I want to personally thank him again for good cooperation and wish him all the best for the 2016 future. Although this statement doesn't specify the exact reason why Virtala is no longer Remedy CEO, the announcement does come just 12 days after the company issued a profit warning to shareholders due to the weak sales of FBC Firebreak. The PvE first-person shooter, which is set in the Control universe, is Remedy's first full multiplayer game. When it was released in June, Remedy reported that launch sales had underperformed, but committed to improving the game based on player feedback. Now, here's the problem, okay? People don't understand what it means to have degradation of franchise. And I know I talk about this all the time, but people love to ignore it because all they want to know is whether or not the game is making money or whether or not the game sold any amount of copies. And I understand that from a shield perspective, the bigger the number, the better it seems. But ultimately, if a second game sold less than a first game, that is what we call degradation of franchise. And you can try to cope, and you can try to seethe, and you can try to lie to everybody around you in yourselves and tell you that, oh, well, that's just because physical copies are down now more than ever, but digital sales are up, so that means that we're breaking even. No, 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 no. You sold less copies in general. That means that the franchise has less interest the second go around than it did the first go around. You are losing money. You have a franchise that is degrading over time. And even if you are staying afloat right now, that doesn't mean that down the pipeline, you're not going to have to return home. Right? You are going to have to return home at some point in time. And you might have broken even on Alan Wake 2 barely after 2 years. But the truth of the matter is, when you do a major fuck up like this, and this game, I'm telling you right now, this game was utilized and made with investments and also with the profits that they made from Alan Wake 1 and whatever little bit of money they were gaining from Alan Wake 2. All that money went into this game. And now look at you. It's gone. It's done. Finito. Now you got to look at yourselves and say, okay, so we fucked around and found out, right? Estimated sales of anywhere between 30,000 and 74,000. You guys are getting felted by indie games. How much did this game cost? This game costs at retail $40. All right. So they literally tried to mimic Concord. They saw Concord strategy and they were like, how can we make a team shooter that is dominated by free-to-play games? How can we make a game like that and say, you know what? I want to charge $40 when nobody else is charging $40. The last known person that tried to charge $40 got canceled after 10 days. We're going to charge $40. We're going to charge $40 for a game nobody asked for and nobody wanted to play, and we're going to hope to get millions of copies sold. What strategy that works in, I have absolutely no idea, but this is where we're at, right? So again, however, in its profit warning earlier this month, the company warned investors that sales of the game had still not reached its internal targets and that it was lowering its outlook for its current business year as a result, with a hit of around $14.9 million expected. As a result of the profit warning, the Alan Wake and Max Payne studio has now changed its outlook for the current business year from expecting a revenue and operating profit increase to expecting operating profit to be negative. So now they are in the negative, ladies and gentlemen. They went from a positive profit outlook to now they're going to be in the negative. Things are going to get very bad, very, very bad for Remedy and very quickly. Here's what I believe Remedy needs to do, and they need to do it ASAP. They need to cancel this fucking game immediately. They need to cancel this game immediately because you are now in the find out phase. There is no more fucking around, okay? You need to cancel this game immediately. You need to release Alan Wake 2 on Steam. Find a way to do it. Convince Epic Games to release that fucking game on Steam and stop playing console exclusives on the PC platform like an asshole. That's what you need to do. Those two things. And number 3, you need to release this fucking game that I know you're working on. You're working on the remake of Max Payne. I know you are. You need to release this game 100% true to the original and make a bomb fucking like amazing remake. This game will save you and put you back into the green if you respect players and you make a proper remake. But here's the problem. I have very little faith that you're going to actually be able to do that. I have very little faith that you're going to remake Max Payne in a way that's going to make Max Payne fans like myself happy. I really don't think you're going to, in my opinion. So, you know, I don't want people to think that this is going to happen. I'm telling you what needs to happen. Those 3 things need to happen. You need to cancel FBC Firebreak. You need to release Alan Wake 2 on Steam, and you need to release a banger of a Max Payne remake. If you do those things, you will be back in the green, in my opinion. Now, obviously, I'm not a CEO of your company, so you can ignore me. I'm sure you will, and I'll just be another chud on your radar that's a bigot or whatever. But those are the 3 things that need to happen to save your company. If you don't do that, you guys are fucked. I understand you're also working on Control 2, but no offense, nobody fucking cares. Nowhere near as much as a Max Payne remake that's actually good would people care. People would care way more about a good Max Payne remake than Control 2, in my opinion. Now, I like Control. I actually liked Control. I thought it was a pretty good game. But you need to focus on making a banger remake that I know you're working on. So ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, to the CEO that, you know, rightfully took the fall, and I agree with this, the CEO should have taken the fall, welcome home. That's basically all I got. Welcome home. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider hitting that like, subscribe. Tell me what you thought in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.